4 years ago, I started learning 3D modeling. I started with environments, and it wasn't long after that I found my love for characters. 4 years later, I'm a character modeler, and I would say that I've improved quite a bit. So that made me think, what if I took one of my old models and recreated it? The model that I thought would be perfect for this was a model I made based off this drawing by Naomi Lord. As you can see, it's not very good, and I guess no one told me about Shade Smooth. I mean, just look at the eyes, they look like disco balls. But anyway, that's enough making fun of 16-year-old me, it's time to get started. If I remember correctly, this character took me 2 days to model, so that's a time limit I gave myself this time as well. I started with the Blockout in Blender, as I always do, and attached the concept art to my camera to ensure that the model matched the drawing as closely as possible. Because as any professional modeler will tell you, an ability to match concept art is one of the most important skills that you can develop. I started with the most important objects like the lady herself, and then began to make the accessories. For these quick 1 or 2 day projects, I will actually spend about a third or even half my time on just the Blockout alone. Because if you can get the Blockout looking good, it's gonna make your life a million times easier down the line. I then decided to make some beautiful hair using curves. Chat, I'm not gonna lie, we might just do this in ZBrush. It's gonna take forever, it's gonna make me wanna die. Yeah, fuck this. Okay, never mind, I guess I got lazy. I finished up the parts of our witch and started making the little animals on her hat. I kept most of them as little beans because they weren't that detailed, and the detail that they do have would be sculpted later. I did give one of them massive feet though. Alright, should we give them big feet? Oh my god, look at this thing. It's just... Dude, it looks like that one bird. Look at this fucking thing. Jesus Christ. After that very important addition, the Blockout was finally done and it was time to start sculpting. We imported our Blockout to ZBrush and began the sculpt with the most important part of any character, the noggin. At first, I started sculpting on a duplicated mesh of the head so that I could have symmetry in the early stages, but then I decided that the character was simple enough to where that would actually be more of a hassle. So I decided to sculpt like the cavemen, with no magic symmetry tool, the way God intended. Once I got that done, I moved on to the sweater and did some fun cloth sculpting. The concept art really only had these folds on the elbow and a small line indicating the draping over the arm. But I decided to exaggerate the folds in my sculpt because just like in high school, I always like to go for the extra credit. Just kidding, my GPA was a 2.3. Now you might say, why did you sculpt the folds on the bottom of the sweater? It's not like the sweater is tucked into the bottom part of the sweater, it's all just one sweater. And to that I'll say, you need to relax, okay? I'm gonna fix it. The next day, when I realized what I've done. I sculpted the other objects and then decided that her bald head was creeping me out, so it was time to do the hair. I added in a sphere and started pulling on stuff until it resembled her hair shape. Once I got the overall shape using Dynamesh, I zeri-meshed the hair and gave it a round of polish. And with that, we finished the sculpting on the character herself and decided that was enough for day 1. Before entering my bed, I remembered that there were a few things that we didn't model earlier, like the eyelashes, because I didn't know where the eyes were gonna be at the time, so I went back in Blender and quickly made those and a few other things that we forgot. After ending our 9.5-hour stream, I was super tired. But luckily, I still had to do 2 more hours of sculpting for another video that I'm currently working on. Listen, dude, I'm absolutely spent. Good night. I'll see you tomorrow. Peace out. Jeez, someone tell that guy to cheer up. Anyway, that was the end of our day, and after a 6 a.m. burrito, I finally entered my bed, where I spent my next 11 hours asleep. I woke up at 6 p.m. ready to attack the day and continue working on the model. Now to the untrained eye, this sleep schedule may seem insane, but I assure you, it is. I then began my stream with a mandatory Celsius and a mandatory Ariana Grande song. Side to side. That was exactly what we needed to get locked in and finish our modeling. I started sculpting all the animals and I kept them all pretty simple for laziness purposes and because the original drawing didn't make them all that detailed. Because there were so many of them, it was very tedious to sculpt all of them, but like I said, they're pretty simple, so I didn't mind too much. The other thing that made it easier for me as well was me from the past, because since the model matched the concept, I was able to project the concept art colors onto my model and use that to make sure I was placing all their features in the correct spot. In the end, I gave them all eyes because I'm a very generous person, and that marked the end of the sculpting stage. Okay guys, yays, we're done with the model now. We just have to do the texturing. Yay. Well, you heard him. I projected my concept art colors onto the head and cleaned it up. This method is way faster than trying to do everything from scratch and will usually give you a better result that more closely matches the concept art. After that, I started the texture of the sweater when... Okay guys, I've got some very exciting news, dude. Yes. I was texturing for about an hour. I ran out of space, I guess, and the video that was recording got corrupted. So, I I guess I just lost all of that footage. Or at least that's what I thought, until this beautiful, beautiful man showed me a way to restore it. And you guys better thank him, because otherwise you wouldn't have gotten to see me texture that cute-ass fox. We finished texturing the rest of the animals, which meant that we were finally done with the model. Okay, I think that's pretty much it. Yeah, I think that we are done with the model. Pretty happy with it. So far it looks pretty good, and hopefully once we get it actually rendering, it'll look even better. So that was it. We were ready to light, render, and compare it with the old model to finally find out if my college tuition was a waste of an unbelievable amount of money. I quickly set up the scene, and now for the moment of truth. When putting the two side by side, there's really no contest. And thank God for that, because if there was, I'd be in crisis. I hope you guys enjoyed that video as much as I enjoyed filming it. If you did enjoy it, please give me a like and subscribe so I can keep making them. And if you'd like to see me do these videos live, go check out my Twitch in the description, as well as the links to my other socials. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one.